Okay, good afternoon everybody. Apologies if you can hear my washing machine and my little brother yelling at the PlayStation, but besides that, we will get into the video. I have a very strong, deep, nostalgic connection to a lot of paranormal YA books that I read when I was like 12, 13, and these books literally shaped me as a reader. I loved them and I loved them so much, and so I still hold all these feelings towards these books. I enjoyed them, and this is me 12, 13, like a child reading these books, and in this video I'm going to be rereading them to see if they are actually good or if they just hold nostalgic feeling in my heart and my brain. So basically these books I read, again I've said this like 4 times, I read these when I was like 12, 13, 14, like not freshly into reading. I've always been a reader. My first chapter book was Matilda by Roald Dahl, and I read that when I was 7. So yeah, I've always been a reader and I've always loved to read. So these books, these are the ones that kind of like got me into reading as a teenager, 12-year-old. These books, yeah, they got me into reading more than what I already was. I can't remember which order I read these in. I'm pretty sure. Alright, so hold on. These are the books I will be reading in the video. So we have Marked by PC and Kristen Cast, Evernight by Claudia Gray, Clockwork Angel, Cassandra Clare, Twilight, Stephanie Meyer, and Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. So these are all, these are upside down. So Vampire, Shadowhunter, Vampire, Fallen Angel. There we go. That's a good visual of them. Yeah, anyway. So I'm pretty sure I read Marked, which is the first book in the House of Night series. This series is like, I'm pretty sure it's got like 13 or 14 books. I think I read the first 3.5 and then I never actually finished them, but I'm pretty sure I read these when I was like 12. I remember reading them during the school holidays. I read this in 2 days, I read the second one in 2 days, I read the third one in 2 days. I was like flying through them. That's pretty good for a 12-year-old. Like, this is 350 pages, but I was flying through this series. I remember it. I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember some details. Like, she's in the start of the book, I'm pretty sure she's picked out by a vampire at her school, and then she has to go to this House of Night vampire school and something. And I remember something about the elements. Like, everyone has an element, like fire, water, air, earth, but she didn't have one. But then she ended up having the spirit element, which was like rare or something. That's pretty much all I remember about this series, but I'm going to read this one and see if it lives up to my expectations. And then I'm going to read, I think I did read, I either read Evernight or Hush Hush next. I don't remember which one. But Evernight is another vampire one. There's 4 books and then like a spin-off book about one of the characters. I read the 4 books, but I never read the spin-off. So maybe we'll finish all these series, reread all these series. I remember loving this book. I loved the guy, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Lucas, I loved him, and I like remember a bit more about this series than I did the other one. It's like they're at the Evernight college, and she's, one of her parents is a vampire, I'm pretty sure, and the other one's human or something. And I remember Lucas comes and he's like pretending to just be a human, but he's actually a vampire hunter, and he's trying to like not kill them, but I think he's trying to like get his vampire hunter society to like infiltrate the school and get rid of them or something. I can't remember. Again, this book is 330 pages. Like, I remember I read the 3rd one of this book, this series, in a day. I remember reading it at the dentist and then I just read it all day. And then we have Hush Hush, Becca Fitzpatrick. This is the Fallen Angel one. I remember loving this as well. I loved all of these, and it's about Patch and Nora. I remember it being very much like the Twilight books, like, but Fallen Angel, like, it kind of followed along the same storyline as Twilight from what I remember. Like, this guy comes into the school, he's a fallen angel, and then I remember the timelines or like the events, like yeah, I don't want to spoil it in case you want to read it, but I loved this. I loved Patch, and yeah, And the other guy, I can't remember what the other guy's name is, but yeah, like in the second book he has to go away because he doesn't want to injure her or like get her endangered, and so another guy comes, and the other guy just reminded me so much of Jacob, and the Patch was Edward, and like, yeah, that kind of storyline. And then I remember the third one, it was like how in Eclipse there's the, what are they called, the newborns come, and Riley and all that. And I remember there being a like different angel coven or something coming to get her. I don't know, I can't really remember, but I do remember it being a lot like Twilight. Which brings me to reading Twilight. Now this one I know I'm gonna like. It's gonna live up to my expectations because I have reread this probably 3 times since I originally read it. Me, my mum and my sister are like obsessed with the movies still. It's honestly quite embarrassing because the movies are so bad, but we love them and we always watch Twilight. Like, I think I've probably watched Twilight 200 times in my life. Like, I was obsessed with it. But I know this will live up to my expectations because I've reread it recently. Well, I think I read it last year. I reread the whole series, so I know it will, but we're just gonna read it anyway because it's amazing. And then finally we have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I read this as like maybe a 14-year-old, like, so it was a bit later in my reading paranormal YA era, but I remember really liking this. I liked this series more than the Shadowhunters series. This is the Infernal Devices trilogy, and I remember, yeah, liking it more than the City of Bones and whatever, the Mortal Instruments, that's what the series is called. I remember liking it more than the Mortal Instruments, and it's about Tessa and Will, Tessa and Jem. I was a Jem girl. I liked him more than Will. So let's see if that holds up to my nostalgia and my remembrance in my heart, if that makes sense. So we are going to be reading all these books. Possibly after I finish this video I will reread all the series, because if they're as good as I remember them being, then they're gonna be good. So yeah, I think we're gonna start with Hush Hush, just because I've been wanting to reread this for ages and I just haven't picked it up yet. Ooh. So this was in my May TBR, I never got around to it, so now it's going in my June TBR. But I will be reading this, probably will finish it in a day or two. Hopefully it'll be a quick read, and then yeah, hopefully all these books live up to my expectations and they don't ruin the nostalgia for what I have for them. That's the end of the intro, and let's get into it. A little update. I finished Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I finished it while I was walking on the treadmill. I had 30 pages left, so I was like, let's just smash it out while we get some steps in. So I finished this. I had a really good time. I loved it. And now I just want to read the rest of the series. I don't want to read any other books. I will, but I just want to continue on with the series because it's actually good. Like, don't let the YA paranormal supernatural genre of it deter you from it, because it's actually good. And this is like coming from a 19-year-old now. This isn't 12-year-old me, this is 19-year-old me. I liked it. Maybe it had a little bit of nostalgia and that's why I liked it so much, but I really enjoyed it. It's not as similar to Twilight as I thought it was. For some reason I remembered it as being like pretty much on par with Twilight. Remembered it to be pretty bang on similar to Twilight, but it wasn't even that similar. So I will save my rating for the end, because that way I can like sort of let my thoughts determine my rating and not just banging going on it. But yeah, Hush Hush, book 1 finished. So now we're going to read one of these 4. I think I want to read Marked just because it's the shortest of all of them, I think. 348 pages. Or how long is Evernight? 327. I think I'm going to read Marked, just because I know that I love Evernight. Well, I did. I think I liked Evernight more than Marked, so I think I'm going to read Marked and get this one checked off. It's actually such a pretty book. Like, that is such a pretty spine with the little like glossy decal. Anyway, yes. On to book number 2. Hello everybody, I'm just here to do a quick update about Marked. I am on page 112, so I'm 10 chapters in. I'm not loving it. I don't know, it just seems a bit childish, and I know that so PC Cast is Kristen Cast's mother, and then in the acknowledgements, PC Cast thanks Kristen for helping her sound like a teenager, and I don't know, I just think it's very obvious that she's trying to sound like a teenager, and it's very like, I don't know, I just think it's very obvious that they are trying to get that vibe, because there's like, I don't know, there's just certain bits, like lots of out of touch comments about shopping and stuff that I don't think would actually be made. I don't know, maybe they were actually like said in the 2000s, but I don't know, as a teenager myself, I wouldn't say that. And there's just a lot of like comments in brackets that are supposed to like be funny. I don't know, it's just getting on my nerves. It's like one of those quirks of the book that's getting on my nerves. Also, I just had football training and it is bucketing down, so I got soaked and it's very cold. So I'm gonna have a shower, eat some dinner, and then I'll probably just read Marked for the rest of the night, see if it gets any better, because yeah, I'm just not loving it at the moment. I knew I wouldn't as much as the other books. I knew it was like one that I didn't love so much as a 12, 13-year-old, but hopefully it's going to get better. Hello everybody, it is Sunday night and I have finished Marked by PC and Kristen Cast. In Hush Hush, I genuinely enjoyed the book. It wasn't just the nostalgia that made me enjoy it, but in Marked it was a bit more of the nostalgia. Like, I wasn't as intrigued as I was with Hush Hush, and I wasn't enjoying it as much. I did give it a 2.75. I rated it a 3 on Goodreads, just because Goodreads doesn't have decimal point star ratings. They need to get on that, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much, and I'm not wanting to really continue the series as much as I was Hush Hush. I still might. Maybe the second book will be a bit better, just because it was the first book and a bit of a like introductory book to the world. But yeah, I did enjoy it, just not as much as I remember enjoying it. The next book that I'm going to read is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, because the other 2 books are both vampire books, so I kind of want to read this one before I read another vampire book. It has 588 pages. 488 pages, so it is a bit longer than the other 2 by about 100 pages, and the font is a little bit smaller. I remember really liking this and really enjoying this series more than I enjoyed the Mortal Instruments series, so hopefully it will be good and then we can get a higher star rating for another book that I enjoyed as a 13-year-old. Hello everybody, it is Wednesday the 26th of June today, and I am just here to say that I have DNF'd. Soft DNF'd Clockwork Angel. I got like 3 chapters in and it was kind of putting me in a slump, so I've decided to not read that at the moment because I don't know, I think because it's third person it's a bit like harder to read for me personally. So now I am reading Evernight by Claudia Gray. I am like pretty much halfway through. I'm liking it much, or like a lot more than Clockwork Angel, and it's not putting me in a slump. So I'm at work right now, but I'm gonna try and finish this today. It's quite quiet at work today, so I think I'll be able to finish it. And then tonight I'm going to Bali, so I'm hoping to finish this before we leave so I don't have to bring another book. But yeah, I'm so excited to go to Bali. I have to whisper. But yeah, halfway through this, definitely going to finish it today and then probably start Twilight when I get back from Bali. Hello everybody. It is July 19th, which means this book has been finished for a while and I just have not gotten around to reviewing it. I did actually finish this at work the day that I said I was going to before I went to Bali. I just never got around to filming the video because I just didn't. So yeah, I finished this before I went to Bali. Bali was amazing besides the fact that I got Bali belly, but that's okay. But I didn't actually read anything while I was there, which was a bit disappointing because I was there for a week, which means I didn't read for a week. But it was fine. But moving on to Evernight. This book was, just as I remembered it, it was really good. I love Lucas and Bianca and I really want to finish the series, like finish rereading the series because I really enjoyed it. I remembered most things that had happened, like I remember what were the major plot lines in the book, but besides that it was really quick and easy to read, and I just had a lot of fun reading it. And I think I gave it a 4 stars, which is like my generic rating pretty much. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and I'm excited to continue on with the series. As for Clockwork Angel and Twilight, I don't think I'm going to read them at the moment just because I'm in the middle of a few books that I want to finish, so I think this is going to end the video. I know that I love Twilight and Clockwork Angel, I tried to read like 3 chapters and it just was not piquing my interest like I wanted it to, so I just wasn't in the mood, and I don't want to ruin it because I wasn't in the mood to read it. But I think I will try to read that on later on in the year, maybe. Yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed all the YA paranormal books that I have mentioned, and if you haven't read them, go give them a read. They're not works of art, they're not like literature masterpieces, like they are what they are, but what they are is great. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.